the Enterprise C, and we are at the boring stage. And last I left off on that, I got everything painted, which is just a base coat of duck egg blue, and I used Model Master Acryl, which I do like. I do prefer the enamel one over the acryl, but I do like the acrylic one. It does lay down pretty decent. So anyway, I got the base coat on, and then I always like to seal my work. That's just because when you start taping, you don't want paint to come up. So I took Mr. Future here, a couple coats worth, and just sprayed it just to seal it. Not for decals or anything of that nature, just overall general purpose sealer. Let that set for a day, and then we are at the boring stage of start masking off the pattern that's like on the sausage. So I'm going to do the ring here first, and then I'll mask off the bridge island. Try to get that painted once we get to that point, but right now what I'm going to do is try to get everything masked off and get the I call it a light blue, whatever this is, light blue RLM 76. That's what I want to try to get down first, and then I'll be ready to go after that. It's basically got three colors. I want to kind of cheat. It's going to have three colors. It's going to have duck egg blue, it's going to have light blue, and then the decals here, which give it a darker blue. That's basically your three blues right there, and you don't have to paint three different colors. So anyway, that is where I stand on the Enterprise C. So we're at the boring stage. I'll probably be there for a little while, so it'll just be tape and tape and tape. So anyway, that's where I stand on that. The Apogee, and all I've done so far on that is I just been gluing some parts here and there. I went through a sack of vintage car parts, which probably late 70s, probably a little early 80s. Some exhaust piping, got that glued on. There's some Tamiya 8 rad. Of course, everyone knows my little chest piece. I glued a motor on the back, some car part on the front there, just to give it a random stuff, which some of the ragtag ships, they just glued stuff just random, and I thought it looked pretty darn slick, just the randomness of it. But anyway, I'm trying to work on that. I got to if you can see here, I could leave some gaps like in here. I may add some like a tire or something, just to fill it in. And what I want to do next is just glue a little piddly stuff on. When I say that, cut off the ends of the bomb here, like I did, like that, and just glue random stuff, in certain places. Give it a little bit of function, but just to fill in some space. But right through here, I'm going to try to. I glued some bombs. You can see right there. I'm going to try to get some kit parts and try to bulkier parts to try to fill that up, just to give it just a little something, and we'll be good to go on that. Didn't get to do. I do got a part that if you can hear it rattle. I dropped it in there. It's in the back here, and hopefully I can fish it out, but if not, it's going to be forever loose. But anyway, that is where I stand on the Apogee. So I just gotta, hopefully, I like to get some more parts out and start continuing on. But anyway, very fun. It's almost relaxing kit bashing, because it is a lost art. One other thing, the part that goes on right here, which is this part, I made a mold of it with the mold putty, if you all remember that one, and I took epoxy paste, which I got in, and if you ain't used this is epoxy sculpt's more like a putty. This is more like cake batter. If you ever notice what that would look like, it's a little thick, but it's exactly like cake batter, but you can thin it with some safety solvent, just very, very light, and maybe a little bit of water just to smooth it out. But it can be pourable, and you don't really have to make it pourable. I just like, you can make it smooth out, but it does make a nice mold. And I made it does have a little antenna on top, and I did have the mold for it. but I didn't care if it broke off or not because I just wanted the basic shape of it. But it does cast pretty well. And there is times where resin, you do need resin to make a mold, to make a part. There's other times where you really don't have to. You can just you can take ABS here and cast a part, and it's rock solid as resin. And if you need to, fine tune it, you can. But anyway, I got that made, so I'm gonna probably try to get that glued on hopefully this weekend, and try to experiment some more with some of the epoxy paste. Diorama stuff is endless. I mean, you can make groundwork, all kinds of stuff, and even in the models, you can blend it, because sometimes that's too thick, trying to sculpt everything, and epoxy sculpt would be a little smoother on certain areas. But anyway, I thought it was very nice stuff to get. Plus, they had a coupon on Amazon, and that brought the price down, so I couldn't resist and had to have it. But anyway, that's what I've got going on today. The Apogee is slowly filling up with parts, casting with epoxy paste, and we are on the boring stage of masking off the Enterprise C. So that's what I got going on today. So stay tuned for the next exciting episode.